To help you with addition and subtraction, it's important to actually understand how to use number bonds to 10. Now, if you haven't thought about this before or done this before, it's essentially just any two digits that make 10. 0 plus 10 is the most obvious one, is 10. And then from there, it goes 1 plus 9, 2 plus 8, and so on and so on. 3 plus 7, 4 plus 6. It's essentially any two digits that make 10. Now, the reason that's really useful is actually sometimes when we go through 10, when we're adding or subtracting, it can actually be quite difficult. So I'll show you an example. Take the sum, just simple 8 plus 5. Now, I've seen lots of students do this, for example, using their fingers or just in their head, counting up one by one. Now, it's okay to do that at first to get used to this idea of going up in ones. However, that's only for, it's a bit like putting stabilizers on a bike. Yes, it helps, stabilize everything at first, and it's something that you can rely on for accuracy. But after a while, you're going to have to take a bit of a risk and really try and come up with something a bit more advanced to help you add numbers such as 8 and 5. And the way to do that is to use 10. It's actually really easy to use 10 to go up. Let's say I'm starting with 8. Now, what I'm going to do is instead of adding 5, I'm going to use the number bonds and think, okay, well, 8 plus what number makes 10? And then only add that number to start with. And of course, once you've got used to your number bonds, this bit becomes nice and easy. We know that we have to add 2 to get to the nearest 10. Okay, well, I've added 2 to get to 10, but originally I was supposed to add 5. Well, this is where you think, well, how much more do I have to add if I'm trying to add 5? I've already used up 2 of that 5. If I've used 2 of the 5, well, 5 take away 2 is 3. That means I've got to use another 3 to finish my sum. So, okay, well now, instead of adding 5, I'm going to add what's left over, which is the 3. And once you're at a 10, adding a number actually becomes a lot faster. So now my final answer is 13. That might sound like it's taking longer and it's a bit more elaborate than just going up in ones, but I assure you, if you start doing this with every difficult addition or subtraction, when you're going through the number 10 or going either above or below, you will get actually used to doing this a lot quicker. And it's far more sophisticated than just using your fingers or trying to go up in ones in your head. Nothing wrong with that to start with, so feel free to use it. However, this is a lot more sophisticated. Okay, so have a go at doing that yourself now. Try adding the numbers 9 and 6. Pause the video to do your addition. Okay, so when you're adding 9 and 6, start here and think, okay, how do I get to the nearest 10 from 9? Well, my number bond to 10 is, in fact, 9 plus 1. So all I have to do is add 1 to get to the nearest 10. And from there, I think, well, I was trying to add 6, but I've only added 1. So I've only used up 1 of that 6. Well, how much of that 6 is left over? Well, the answer to that is 5. So my mental sort of calculation is, well, 6 take away 1 is 5. So I've got 5 more to add so that I'm actually adding the right amount. So if I now add that 5, my answer is, of course, 15. It also works with subtraction. So if I have that visual in front of you, it's no different at all. Let's say I was doing 13, take away 7. Now, usually I find students really struggle with this, and it takes them a while to get to the answer, but we can go backwards as well. So if you start at 13, instead of trying to take away the whole amount in one go, again, get to the nearest 10, which is, of course, just 10. Now, to get to 10, I know there's a difference of 3 here, so I just have to subtract 3. And the same concept as before. I think, well, I was trying to subtract 7, but I didn't subtract 7. I only subtracted 3. Well, how many more do I have to subtract to make sure I have subtracted 7? And the answer to that is 4. 7 take away 3 is 4. So there's difference of 4. So I've got to take away another 4. And I know from my number bonds that 4 plus 6 is in fact 10. So if I'm taking away 4, that's going to leave me with 6. I know it looks elaborate and it looks more difficult, but I assure you, after doing this hundreds of times, which you will do, every time you're adding 2 digits that go through 10 or subtracting them, you will actually find that it's a lot more accurate, actually, as well as a lot faster. So yeah, please use that from now on. Thank you.